Alright guys, today's video is going to be all about checking out the newest updates in Backrooms Descent, so let's go ahead and jump right in and see what it's all about. Now, in this game, we're going to be looking at the three biggest changes in the new update, being some new levels, some new entities included, and some little changes within some of the levels, like some of the visuals and how it's presented to you guys. And some of them are a little bit more noticeable than others, but once you do see them, they're actually really cool things that they've added into the game. Now, in all honesty, because I never looked close enough right at the very beginning, I don't know if this cat pillow thing is actually in the original version or not, or if this is something that's added into the new update. But you can pick it up and kind of just carry it around. Like you see, I brought it into the actual backroom section. Now, I don't know if there's any significance with it if you hold onto it and keep it through the certain levels, or if you can hold onto it the entire game. That much I don't actually know. So I kind of just played around with it and held onto it and took it through a couple areas. I took it with me through this entire area, and you'll see I at least brought it into the pool rooms. But then I kind of just left it behind because I just didn't care enough to find out what happens if you keep it the whole time. But if you guys want to check it out for yourself and see if there's some kind of achievement or anything significant with it, if you hold on to it, you can go ahead and try that for yourself. As much as I do enjoy this game, the only thing I'm not personally a fan of is how fast the entities move compared to the previous versions of this game. And what I mean is, before, when I used to play this, they still could like kind of catch up to you, but they wouldn't catch you unless you were stuck in a corner and couldn't escape. But now they move so fast to where as soon as you're spotted, you're pretty much killed instantly. So I don't know if that was intentional, because I know in the main menu you can do upgrades for your speed and stamina. So I'm assuming if you do that, it'll kind of help you to be able to evade them easier. But I know for somebody that might not be familiar with this game or getting it for the first time, it's going to be more challenging for them to be able to progress through without getting killed all the time. Now, the pool rooms is the first level where you can see a noticeable change in the level design, because there's areas where it's a little bit more lit up and you can see things a little bit more clearly than you could before, like down in the bottom of this pit. You can actually see down at the bottom compared to before, where unless you were all the way down there with a flashlight, you couldn't see. And in this area, there's actually the T-Rex skull from the maze section in this little spot too, which I don't remember that being there before, but I know in this update, they still don't have that maze area open, so I'm assuming they just kind of have this here for the time being. And right here you can see too, so out in the distance you can see all the different structures, where beforehand it was actually just a big open space with nothing there. It was just empty. So it's cool that they added some of the different stuff like that too, so you can get some more things to look at and kind of set more of a scene. And right here you can see the changing lighting, where you can actually see the bottom of the pit and walk around without using a flashlight, compared to before where you could barely see anything within a few feet in front of you.
I always hated parking lots. Now that is a nightmare.
And there's not going to be much to talk about with this level. There wasn't much change that I noticed, other than certain items spawn in some different areas, or there's just different items altogether. Like the first time I played this on this little table, there's actually a radar that you could use, but when I jumped in this time, you could see it actually wasn't there. So there's just different item spawns in this level that I noticed, but nothing different as far as the entities or the level itself. Now, I know I just said that there wasn't any major changes within the level, but I don't know if that door being there is part of the update or not. I don't honestly remember seeing that there before, but it might have been something that I overlooked previously. Now, the main exit, you have to use this rope to go down into a hole to get to an elevator. So my guess is if you were to take that other little trap door, that it's going to take you to the party rooms, but I'm not too sure because I didn't check that myself. Now, this level for sure doesn't have any changes, at least that I saw. It's pretty much the same as before, where all you're doing is going down the hallways, turning the valves to turn off the steam so that we can make your way to the door that takes you out. But I didn't see any noticeable changes in the visuals. There wasn't any entities that I came across. So as far as I was able to tell, there was no noticeable changes within this one. This level, like the pool rooms, had a big change in the design and visuals as well. You can already see that the inside of the house looks a lot different than the previous versions, and outside had a little bit of a change as well, with some added features like the water towers that you can see in the distance. But along with that, there's also a different entity that's here as well compared to before. This time you can see it's a giant spider ant looking creature, whereas before it was a bunch of alien looking things that were running around. There'd be a lot of them that moved pretty fast. So it's kind of cool that you get just a singular threat, which is still kind of creepy looking and kind of intimidating if you were to kind of see that in the dark. Once you go inside the elevator, you're going to see, instead of going to the level at the end, you're going to see the 3 new levels that they've added in. Now in this first new level, it's straightforward. All you're doing is running. You don't look back, you don't do anything different, just keep moving forward and just try not to get caught for too long, because if you get stuck and you can't get out, he will catch up to you and get you, which you'll be able to see here. I turned around to see. So as long as you keep moving fast enough, you'll be able to get out just fine. The second new level is not quite what I was expecting. It's just a giant dollhouse basically that you're roaming around in to look for the exit. Now, we're definitely not alone in here. There is an entity that spawns in, and he definitely teleports around, which I was not expecting either. And it took a while to figure out if he was harmful or not. And not realizing he was going to teleport like that, I was definitely pretty cautious around him. And I tried to make it a point to constantly keep my eyes on him as much as I could, because I didn't know if I turned my back for too long if he was going to do something, or if he was just present and was just kind of watching us. Now, I wasn't sure if there's going to be any key items like this in here, but when I found this, I just decided to take it along with me. And then once I saw him again, I tried this. And it seemed like it made him more friendly. And once he started kind of walking around instead of teleporting, I decided to just follow him along and see if maybe he was trying to guide me somewhere, which then this happened. And with the final new level, we're doing another pool rooms level, which is pretty cool that we get another chance to look in here in a different way. Now, this first section, you're walking along this maze-looking thing, and believe me, there are no borders to the edge of these, so if you walk too far, you're falling off.
Oh my gosh!
And that's really the only risk in this level, is having spots like that where you can fall to your death. But there's no present entities in this level, so you can freely roam around and kind of just take your time without worrying about something pursuing you. But we do get a pretty cool maze section coming up in this level as well, which kind of makes up for the maze that we didn't get back in the original pool room section, which I honestly don't mind. I kind of like the way this one is a little bit more. Now, because I was able to fit in these little holes, it made me think that there was going to be some kind of entity that we're going to have to hide from. But there ended up not being anything crazy like that, so I guess they were just kind of there for the visuals. But if they ever did decide to add an entity in there, that'd be a pretty cool mechanic to be able to hide from them under those holes. And that just brings us to the level The End. And there's nothing different in here. You just go to the computer, turn it on, it gives you a time limit, and you have to try to find all the books that act as switches in time before an entity comes to kill you. And the only real difference in this one is at the very end, if you find all the books, a portal opens up just like in that little dollhouse, that like circle looking portal, and then you just travel through there to escape. And there's nothing different with this level either. It's pretty straightforward. You go up the stairs and then you just walk off the ledge into the abyss that eventually just takes you back into reality in your bedroom. And that just about sums up all the new updates for Backrooms Descent, which I really enjoyed all the different updates too. I liked all the different visuals. I liked the changes with the entities, but we did miss one level. And since all the main exits took us to all the different levels except for level fun with the party rooms, my guess is that if we would have went through those little trap doors that was on the ground in the parking garage, it probably would have took us to level fun. But the only difference in this level is just the visual side of it. The rooms, the lighting, everything got a completely different look to it, which I actually prefer this compared to the original version because it makes it feel more like a fun house, like you're going to like a Chuck E. Cheese or something, and it makes it feel more like an environment where you'd see kids running and playing around. But it still has creepy elements to it, and there's still an NC that runs around to pursue you. But with that, we've officially seen all the new updates to this game, gotten a look at all the new levels, the new entities, some of the different visual changes in the levels. And if you guys want to check this out for yourself, I'll have the link to the App Store in the description below. But if you did enjoy the video, make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.